All right, my friends, so for the last main topic for today's episode, we're going to jump over to the WSL just for a second and talk about Manchester United. So, the Manchester United women's squad have approached the PFA for guidance surrounding their current situation between the players and the club. For those of you who don't know, so Colin M. Dames wrote this particular article. I'll link it down in the description below so you guys can read it. But essentially, the players have expressed really great concern over the lack of the club's ability to, one, communicate with the players, also providing adequate training facilities for them to train in, and also hiring of a new manager to replace Casey Stoney, who left some months ago. For those of you who don't remember that, I made a couple videos about that. You can find them on my channel at your leisure. But the club's only answer for that as of late has been just to keep the interim manager, Casey Stoney's assistant, which is Martin Ho. Overall, the club's staff are said to have been backing the players for the approach to the PFA, so I'm really curious to see how that's going to turn out. But on the other side of the coin, a lot of players have been leaving this offseason too, and no others have really been signed by the club. So Christen Press has left, Tobin Heath's left, Jess Sigsworth has left, Amy Turner's left, and now Lauren James has also been linked with a move to exit the club as well. So a lot of concerns with the players overall, and honestly, I really don't blame them. My overall thoughts on the situation, and I guess this is me speaking more of a fan of the entire Manchester United Football Club, that's men's, women's, youth's, reserve sides. Overall, I feel really bad for the Manchester United women's players, of course, because this really sucks, because not having the adequate training facilities to even do your job, or not having a coach to even be able to play for, that's got to be really damning for the motivation as a player, because it just shows that the club doesn't care as much as they should. So from an overarching perspective, I'm just really disappointed with that situation. And honestly, the Glazer family, for those of you who don't know, are the owners of the Manchester United Football Club. And it sucks to say this, but I'm not really surprised that the Manchester United women's players are having problems with the Glazer family not providing them the things that they need, because the Glazer family has a reputation for doing that on all accounts for all of the different squads within the club, which is just really disappointing to hear. For those of you who don't know, and this is just me speaking very loosely, I'm not like super close to the situation, but this is just from a fan's perspective, from the outside looking in. That's my disclaimer for this. Essentially what it looks like is the Glazer family has historically been the owner of clubs for the purpose of just making money. Now, I know that might sound a little bit naive and a little bit odd, but the thing is, when you own a sports team, a lot of times they want to see their team succeed. They want to see their teams grow. With the Glazer family, what it looks like is they're just there to funnel as much money out of each of the clubs that they own as much as possible. And the problem is when your goal is to make money, just exclusively make money out of clubs, you inevitably lower the quality of the club itself by just siphoning money out of it. The less money that the club has, the fewer training facilities that they have, the lower quality of training facilities that they have, the less people that they can hire, the less players they can sign. And it really takes the quality out of the club. And then before you know it, the club is just left with no money and in worse shape off than when the ownership group took over, which is a really big shame to really see all unfold. And for those of you who are curious about the current situation in Manchester United in general, I mean, it got so bad that fans even stormed the pitch at Old Trafford a couple months ago, which was a really weird situation overall together. But you get where I'm coming from. Fans are fed up with it, and now it's trickling to not just the men's side of the equation, but the women's side of the club as well. And what makes it really concerning for the women's club is the fact that it's kind of easy to sort of start linking between a lot of the injuries that the players for the Manchester United Women's Club has had over the last season with the lack of adequate training facilities that they provide. I mean, Tobin Heath has sustained 2 major injuries while playing for Manchester United. She was only there for a season. Christen Press got knocked like 3 or 4 times and was out for a few periods of several weeks. Lauren James was hurt quite a bit. Leah Golton, who's one of the best wingers in the league, she got hurt quite a bit. The injury list just kept piling on and on. Can't even run the club because all of the players are getting hurt. And I have to think that the lack of training facilities that the club provides these players has something to do with it. Now, of course, that's just me as a fan speculating, but it gets really tempted to start putting those arrows together and drawing lines and drawing conclusions when the club just simply isn't getting the money that it needs to grow and succeed. So it begs a lot of interesting questions with the Manchester United club in general. And like I said earlier, I am very upset for the Manchester United women's players, and I'm disappointed in the Glazers, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because this seems to be the Glazer family's MO. So one thing I kind of want to mention when it comes to owners coming into different countries and trying to buy football clubs. So for example, like with the Glazer family coming into England and the PFA being the organization in charge. Now, some of this might come off a little ignorant because I'm not super in tune with how this process works, but stay with me. The concepts still kind of remain true. I think it's in the PFA's interest to really heavily screen and approve new owners who are trying to come into any of the English football leagues for a few reasons, because of the fact that they need to find the motivation as to why the owners want to own a club. Is it for the money? Is it for the love of the club? Is it to grow the team and make money at the same time? Because you can have your cake and eat it too. Both of those things are possible at once. And the reason why the PFA, it's in their best interest to really screen these owners coming in is, like I said earlier, if owners are just coming in for funds, just to siphon money out of the club, it's going to lower the overall quality, not only of the team, but if it happens often enough, it's going to lower the overall quality of the leagues that they're residing in because of the fact that they're siphoning money out of the clubs. And like I said, when you have less money for the club, you don't get the proper facilities that you need. Players start getting hurt. You can't sign new players. You can't sign assistants, coaches, what have you. And then the club's just left with nothing but a skeleton, and it lowers the quality of the team, and then thereby it lowers the quality of the league. And if the quality of the league is lowered, less fans are going to be willing to watch, and less money is going to be made overall for the PFA to go around. So why not just stomp it out at the very beginning of the process and more heavily screen the owners that come in to these leagues? So like I said, that might be more of an ignorant viewpoint of viewing it, because I don't know the exact process for new owners coming into English football. But like I said, concepts remain the same, so something's got to be done. It's got to be better. That's just my overall thoughts on the situation, friends, but I want to know what you think. What do you make of the situation? Feel free to comment below and let me know whatever your thoughts are.